So today I am making peanut butter truffles. Some people call them Buckeyes, depending on how they're dipped, I suppose. I'm actually going to be dipping mine all the way, so I'm calling them peanut butter truffles. This is a 2-ingredient recipe. It's done in the microwave. It is super, super easy. So I have a small pan that I have lined with parchment paper, and I sprayed the parchment. I have a bowl ready. I have a jar of creamy peanut butter, any kind that you want. I don't recommend the natural peanut butter for this because it separates and it's kind of hard to stir it back together, but you can use it, and 1 container of vanilla frosting. So I'm going to open my peanut butter and my vanilla, and you want to make sure that when you open this, you get any foil off the edge that might be left behind. Sometimes those open really easily and sometimes not so much, but you don't want to put that foil in your microwave. And today was a lucky do-it-easy day. So I'm going to put my peanut butter in the microwave for 1 minute, and then I'm going to stir it and make sure that it's all the way melted. And if it's not, I will put it back in for up to another minute, giving it a stir about every 15 seconds. And that has melted completely. So now same thing with the frosting, 1 minute. And while that is going 1 minute, I'm going to pour this into my bowl. Be careful taking these out of the microwave. They are melted and hot. Make sure this is melted in the middle, and it is. So now I'm just going to thoroughly combine these. Alright, so now I'm just going to pour this into my pan, and this pan may not be big enough. I may have to grab another one, but I'm hopeful. Alright, and now I am just going to let this set up for a couple of hours. And in a couple of hours, I will come back and we'll make it into balls, and we will dip it. Okay, I have been rolling. I didn't figure you guys wanted to sit here and watch me roll these for 20 minutes. So I thought I'd come back and show you how I do them. You can use a cookie scoop. This is really soft. It's also sticky. So if you were going to coat them in cocoa powder or chopped nuts or something of that nature, you would want to do it now. I'm actually going to be dipping mine in chocolate and then drizzling them with some decor. So I just cut mine into squares, give them a quick squeeze to kind of start shaping them, and then roll them. It's quick and easy. I'm going to cover mine with foil, stick them back in the fridge for a couple of hours. Because I'm going to be dipping them, I want them to be nice and cold so the chocolate on them hardens quickly. But again, just give it a quick squeeze, start to shape it, roll it in your hands. You're going to get sticky. Because they are a bit sticky. But they roll up pretty quick, pretty easy. So I'm going to cover these. I'm going to stick them in the fridge for a couple of hours. And then I'll bring you back and show you how I dip them and decorate them. Okay, peanut butter truffles have all set up. And I have melted some chocolate. And I have found that the easiest way to dip these is to stick a toothpick in it, dip it, let the chocolate harden, and then just give the toothpick a little twist and it will twist right out. So that is what I am going to do. Slide some things over here. I have a tray lined with parchment paper. I have another one there should I need it. I don't think I will, but it's possible. And I am just going to get started dipping. I went ahead and put toothpicks in all of these just to make it a little easier, a little faster. Because I am at the end of a 13-hour candy making marathon. And I still have boxes of candy to pack up once everything sets up. I have made 4 flavors of Gophers, 3 types of fudge, and these are not wanting to stay on the toothpick for me. 3 types of fudge, Rocky Road candy, old-fashioned cornflake candy, peppermint bark, turtles, Oreo truffles, regular truffles, and peanut butter truffles. Can you guess what everybody I know is getting for Christmas? And I would like to say that everything that I have made is beautiful and shaped and gorgeous, but as the day wore on, it became more of a case of rustic and country style is my way of doing things anyway. So that's what a lot of people are going to be getting, is rustic and country style. And that's okay, because it all tastes wonderful. And because these are peanut butter truffles, and I'm in Ohio where we love our Buckeyes, I'm actually leaving a little bit of peanut butter peeking out the top of most of these, so that when you look at it, you know what it is. Technically, it's not a Buckeye, but it sure looks like one. And honestly, being patient and letting some of the chocolate drip off of these is the hardest part of making them. Now, if you make these and you make them as Buckeyes where you don't completely coat the top with chocolate, that toothpick lifts right out of that peanut butter truffle. If you coat them completely to make a truffle, you want to give it a twist and it will slide right out. Just like that. All right, that's it. 2 ingredient peanut butter truffles. Count the chocolate, it's 3 ingredients. Super, super easy, super fast, and absolutely super delicious. Alright, so today I am making some truffles, and they're really easy to make. They're a little bit time consuming and they're a little bit messy to make them, but please believe they are worth the effort. So I'm going to start. I have my burner on medium, and I am going to start. There are really only 4 ingredients in these. I have a cup of heavy cream. I'm going to add that to my pan. And then I'm going to add in a packed 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to let this come up to a low bubble until that sugar dissolves. And I want to bring this up just to a boil. But you want to stand here and you want to watch it. You want to stir it every once in a while because you don't want it to scorch. I'm starting to get bubbles around the edge, so it'll only be another minute or so. And it's at a simmer. I'm going to let it get just a little bit warmer. Alright, and now I am going to start stirring in my chocolate chips. I'm going to leave the heat on when I first put them in, but then I'm going to turn it off. The heat's off, the chips are in, and now I'm just going to stir for a minute to let them get good and coated with that hot liquid. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla. And now I am just going to stir until this is smooth. And it doesn't take long. That hot cream melts the chips. And I am just going to whisk this until it's nice and smooth. And this is what you're looking for. A nice, smooth, shiny consistency. So I have just an 8x8 pan that I have lined with parchment paper, and I sprayed the paper just to make it a little easier later on. I'm going to pour this in. And then I'm going to let these set up. I'm going to let them sit here for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'll put them in the fridge, and I'll leave them in the fridge for about 30 or 45 minutes to let them get nice and solid. Then I'll come back and I'll take a cookie scoop and we'll scoop them out and roll them into balls. So once it's time to do that, I will bring you back. All right, so these all set up, and I have been rolling truffles, but I didn't figure anybody wanted to see me roll 50 truffles, so I thought I'd save just the last couple and show you how I do them. You can use a cookie scoop. That works really well. I did not want to use a cookie scoop today. I just wanted to get them done quickly. And for me, the easiest way to do that was just to cut them into squares and roll these squares into balls. Now, it's going to make a mess. Your hands are going to get messy. I am dipping mine. So I'm going to go back in the fridge with mine for a couple of hours to let them get solid again. And again, your hands are going to get messy. This is a very soft chocolate. If you were just going to roll them, so let's say you were going to roll them in cocoa powder or powdered sugar or graham cracker crumbs or chopped nuts, you would do it at this point while they're sticky from being shaped in your hands. And whatever you roll them in would stick to them. But like I said, I'm going to be dipping mine, so I want mine to be cold and solid. And it's just that easy to roll them. I'm going to cover these. I'm going to put them back in the fridge for a couple of hours, and in a couple of hours I'll bring you back and show you what I'm doing with them. Truffles have been in the fridge for a while, and now I am going to dip them. I have melted about a half a package of white almond bark, and to this I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of shortening and stir it until it's melted. Might need to put it back in the microwave for just a few seconds. This just makes it shiny. A lot of people use coconut oil for this. I am allergic to coconut, so there are no coconut products in my home. And I'm just going to stick this back in the microwave for about 10 or 15 seconds just to finish melting that out. And then I'm going to dip half of my truffles in white and half in chocolate. So we'll let that go just a few seconds. I have a pan lined with parchment paper ready to go. And I let it go about 15 seconds. It's melted completely. It was already nice and warm in there. This just sped it up a little bit. So I'm just going to mix it all together nice and smooth. Little lump of chocolate left. Let me smash that out. All right. And now that that is all mixed together, yep, nice and smooth, I am just going to dip about half of these. So I've got 30 or so. I'm going to dip about 15 of them in white. And I have found the easiest way to do it is just to use a toothpick. Stick a toothpick in the top, give it a spin, let any excess drip off, and then I use a second toothpick to slide it off. And then it's very easy to just put a little bit of chocolate right there to cover that little spot. So, like I said, I'm going to dip about half of these, so about 15 of them. And they're cold, so the chocolate hardens on them pretty quickly. Another way that you can do it if you don't want to use toothpick is you can use spoon. Take a spoon and then lift it out. It's a little harder to get all of that extra chocolate dripped off, and I still end up using a toothpick usually. They make little tools, but I don't have a lot of single function tools in my kitchen. And if you're really worried about that little spot, it's just this easy to cover them up. And then I'm going to drizzle all of these with chocolate as well for decoration. So that will hide anything any imperfections, although I do need them to not touch each other. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep dipping. I'm going to dip about 15, and then I'm going to switch to chocolate coating, and I'll do the same thing there. I'm going to dip these a second time, just because the chocolate was pretty warm when I put it on and most of it rubbed off. And not all of them, just the first few that I did. The rest of them I think are okay. So now to get the toothpicks out, I'm just going to give them a quick twist. All right, there's quite a bit left. I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to grab some piping bags when I'm finished with doing the chocolate covered ones, and I will put it in piping bags to decorate with. So I'm going to set this to the side and grab some chocolate and get it started melting. Alright, so lesson learned doing the last batch. If you leave the toothpick in until the candy hardens, or until the chocolate hardens, you can just twist it right out. So, getting out a handful of toothpicks to lay over here. And it is the exact same process. I'm just going to spin them, shake off the excess, swipe the bottom on the bowl, and put them onto parchment paper. And you want to work with these when they are cold if you're going to dip them, because they are very soft once they are back to room temperature. All right, I'm gonna let these sit here and set up for just a few more minutes, and I'm gonna go grab some piping bags, and I will be right back. It appears that I am out of regular piping bags. So I have a couple of freezer bags here. And I'm gonna put some of the chocolate, not all, because I still have peanut butter truffles that I need to cover. But I'm gonna put some of the chocolate in one and the white in another, so that I can drizzle these and close out those. Oh, I don't like this kind of bag for piping, but I guess we'll make it work. It has the pleated bottom, so it's not a good point, but I'll use a toothpick and make it work. So I'm going to put a little bit of the chocolate, not a ton. And I think I'm going to have to put this back in the microwave for just probably 15 or 20 seconds, because it has started to harden. And I'm going to put the white in this one. And I've been making candy all day. I've got a lot to drizzle, so that will not go to waste. Move that over. And this is one of those pleated bottom bags. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a toothpick and poke a hole. There we go. All right. And I'm going to start by putting just a drop on each of those holes that I took the toothpick out of. All right, then I'm going to set this over here. I'm going to grab the chocolate, and I'm going to do the same thing. Pull it all down nice and tight. Give it a twist. Grab a toothpick and poke a hole in it, preferably without making too big of a mess. All right, and I'm going to get it started, and then I'm just going to go to town once I get it started. There we go. these that need some chocolate put on the top of them. All right. So I'm going to set these to the side. Set my chocolate bag over to the side, and I'm going to grab the white again. Find my little opening there. Give it a squeeze to get it started. There we go. All right, and there we go. Truffles are ready. I'm going to let them set up, and then I'm going to add them to the candy collection that I have been working on all day. And it's almost time to start boxing them up. So I will bring you guys back and show you how I package and box everything up once I get to that point.